Perfect. Just waiting notification. And boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an incredible guest with us tonight who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our brother Joshua, out of Chicago, now currently residing in Phoenix, Arizona. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, bro.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to let everyone know that if you haven't been online or on social media these past few weeks, it's been fires everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. He's been doing a great job of representing the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And seeing that October 7th is the birthday, Savior's Day of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I felt it was only right. We felt it was only right to bring him on and let him expound on the messenger of Allah. So first of all, once again, I would say assalamu alaikum, brother Joshua.
Wa alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Thank everyone who's watching all across the country. You can't wait to put this on YouTube. So the first question we have for you, sir, is who is the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and how important is his impact to history?
Wow. Well, I first want to open up, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And I bear witness that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed his messenger, Messiah. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is divine reminder, warner, comforter, and so much more in our midst. And of course, brother, one more time for you, assalamu alaikum, peace, God. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace, God. Yes, sir. We hold it down.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, without a doubt, the messenger of Allah, the exalted Christ. These names, these titles rather, are very heavy. They're pregnant, meaning there's so much to come just from unpacking it. On one level, as a messenger, you look at that. What is a messenger? A person who carries a message. What is a message? A correspondence, written or verbal, delivered from one party to the other. And so when we say he's the messenger, we're saying he did just that. He carried the message. So any intelligent person has to ask, what was the message that he carried? That message that he carried was freedom, justice, and equality. That message that he carried was four essential truths: the knowledge of God, the knowledge of self, the knowledge of Satan, and the knowledge of the time in which we are living. Nobody else throughout the annals of history has given that specific message to the Black man and woman here in America. So that man, we believe, was raised up by God in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, as the scriptures said that he would. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the prophetic voice, although he was much more than a prophet, a messenger, Messiah. He was the one that was born from among us. We see him as the Jesus in our midst, according to how the scriptures view a Jesus. What he means to history is the heaviness of the Jesus historically, is the heaviness of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're talking about a people whom the scriptures say will go into bondage, for 400 years. Talking about Genesis, the 15th chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so people who would go into bondage for 400 years, but after that time, God would come and he would judge that nation. So we believe that we are the people who fulfill that scripture. God did come and he's judging the country that we serve through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So this man is the key to the scriptures. This man is the one that we've been looking for, that we've been waiting for. So he is the key, he's the one, man. And his works bear witness to who he is, in people like myself, brothers that could have been, in the streets doing what we do, hanging and banging, you feel me? Smoking, selling dope, drinking, smoke, all of that. You know how we get down, man, as young folks, the Black man and woman, we're very creative people, man, but in our creativity, we can be pretty savage, so we needed a messenger. We needed somebody to come with a word that was laid on us, you know, to help us turn us back to who we are, man. Oh man, it's so many scriptures that come to mind when thinking about that man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But without a doubt, man, he is the Christ, one anointed with power to crush the wicked. And so when we look at his works, he is indeed doing that through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So he's a man that we forever give thanks to. He's a man we forever honor and respect, and we're thankful that he came.
All praise is due to all our excellent teaching, Brother Joshua. My sister Naima says, Assalamu alaikum. Brother Nelson Ramos says, Assalamu alaikum, all the way from Massachusetts. And thank everyone who's showing love all across the country. Yes, sir. Now, my next question for you is specifically to the millennials, Generation Z, people who have no idea. They've never seen The Godfather of Harlem. Malcolm X came out in 1993. So you got these people now who never read the autobiography of Malcolm X. This is not their point of reference. So the only time they've seen the Most Honorable Mama recently, perhaps Godfather of Harlem, One Night in Miami, Muhammad Ali, a little Malcolm X, that whole thing. But they don't have a great point of context as far as media or as far as books. How do you describe his importance to them in 2022?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Well, many of us grew up in church, or we knew someone who grew up in church. We have grandparents, our mothers, fathers. We know Jesus. It's safe to say that Jesus is a pretty popular brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a really popular brother. So if there is a group of people who just happen to be Black folks that are saying that Jesus came from among us, that's right there should be like, hold on, well, I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know what's going on. What you mean, Jesus, bro? You like, nah, I thought Jesus was 2,000 years ago. How are these people so bold to say that? So that in itself should stimulate some type of intrigue, and then just for him being, now some people say that color doesn't matter. Absolutely. Color absolutely does matter. It matters because we're living in a world that is color sick. Right? We're living in a world that imposes hatred and has a certain level of resentment towards people of color, right? And the image of Jesus has always been that blonde hair, blue-eyed, golden locks, and you feel me? Like it's always been that little soft white boy on the cross.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you got some Black folks in America saying we got no. Jesus came from us. For me, that was enough for it to be like, ooh, like, man, I got to learn some more about this, because I want to see my relevance to the scripture. If I believe in Jesus, if I believe in God, and somebody's saying that there's the Son of God, essentially, it came to us, man, that in itself makes it very relevant. And also, too, if we just take a look at on a more practical level, away from a religious level, those of us who consider ourselves Black, we wouldn't even consider ourselves Black if it were not for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't get it twisted. We were still Negroes. You know what I mean? We was niggas and Negroes. You understand me? But this man came and gave us a different level of identifying who we are and saying that, no, we're not Black, meaning a color, but Black, the essence from which all colors come into existence, man. So it's that man right there who taught you that you was Black. I hope that answers your question, bro.
Oh no, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
And the Colson says, Akbar says, beautiful representative. Thank you all for watching. People show you love all across the country, and continue to like, share, subscribe. Okay, yes, sir. Let's go to you are an artist, you sing, rap, produce. The music industry and the arts and culture, movies and film has always shown love since the beginning, especially hip hop directly. Of course, prior to hip hop, the Most Honorable Muhammad, James Brown say "I'm Black and I'm proud," or Etta James being members of the Stylistics, and
Yeah.
Goes on and on. But Michael Jackson, there's always been a connection with Islam. What do you say to the hip hop generation or generation dealing with music or drill rap, whatever it is, to the importance of a connection with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching and artistry?
That's beautiful. Well, as you lift it up, man, there's always been the connection, especially in the hip hop community, to Islam. Even Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I'm saying? Peace, God, knowledge, God, influenced by the 5% nation of gods and earths. Those are spawns of Elijah. Those are children of Elijah. So what I would say to them is, if you have a man who is pointing us towards our salvation, literally, that's what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is for me and for so many others. Is he represents a way out of this wicked world, a way for us to work out our sins, and a way for us to be more empowered as Black folks. And if you look at his works in the 40s, 50s, 60s, this man built $1 billion industry. You feel me? Like, yeah, we can clap for that for sure. Like, don't get it twisted. The economic works of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was crazy. How was a man like that able to do that with a 3rd grade education, man? He met with the God. See, he had to have a certain level of teaching he was subjected to. You feel me? That gave him a certain level of swag to move out and activate his godhood in the community and abroad, right? So to the artist, lifting up that man in doing so, what we're doing is you're putting his message out into the world. And when that message reaches the masses of our people, now we can become more industrious. Now we can clean up. Now we can become better as men and women, better fathers, better mothers. You feel me? So lifting him up through the arts, man, is so critically important. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he taught us that, man, it's one rap song or one song is like the equivalent to what, like you say, 1,000 sermons?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, we are rhythmic people. We are you put some Elijah lyrics over the top of that, man, our people gonna lock in like, hold on. And they getting them teachings, bro. In fact, people may not even know this, bro, but I was first introduced to the teachings through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's song, "A White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell." I was on Bear Share LimeWire. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember Bear Share and Lime? Y'all remember we was downloading illegal music? Boy, I had to mix CDs. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I had I had that smooth R&B CD when I had my Pretty Ricky, had the Genuine, I had the Neo joint. Then I had the conscious joints too. I had the conscious one, you feel me? And I came across "A White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell." And of course, the minister, why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everyone making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? See, when the teachings are put in a creative and artistic way like that, man, it resonates. Because we as a people, we're naturally rhythmic people. We're naturally soulful people. We're naturally melodic people. So I encourage all the artists to take the content that's found in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, put it in your own smooth way and serve it up to the people, because in doing so, you're helping to serve our rise.
All praises due to Allah. Excellent. My sister Miriam sends the greetings. Islam Mimi, Sister Valerie says greetings, everyone, all the way from Los Angeles. Thank you, everyone, who continues to show love to Brother Joshua and the People's Podcast. Thank you all very much. Here we go, people. Here we go. So there we go. Excellent. I just want to make sure I got everybody locked in and people like it, love. My next question is, on social media, I see you post your children and being a father. How important are the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad into you as a man, and to specifically being a father?
Oh man, well, as a young man, the teachings ninja kicked me in the chest, bro. I'm talking about that truth. It was very profound, and it got to working on my heart, and it cultivated me spiritually, intellectually. And as a 25, I believe I was 25-year-old man, getting that wisdom, man, I was able to go to the next level, man, in my own personal development. So as being able to instill the teachings into my children, that in itself is of immense value. You know, I can't help but think about if, you know, if I had been introduced to the teachings at, you know, a very young age, what man might I be? You know, and so that is the key, is introducing our children to the individuals who can further aid in their development. You know, I believe that's what it means to be a father. A father is a furtherer, you know, one who furthers someone's development. So we essentially are Rabbil Alameen, you know, we nurture a thing from its eventual perfection, you know, but in order to do that, you got to pass that on to Allah, you know. We got to nurture our children in the word, nurture them in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, nurture them in Black empowerment, nurture them in scriptures and all these things. And at a certain point in time, if you lead them to the right path, that man, that script, those scriptures, you know, that movement is going to grow them and is going to evolve them to a greater level that you couldn't do yourself, you know.
Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. Excellent teaching, Brother Joshua. My next question for you is, speaking of, this is our 4th interview today. We've been dealing with paying respect, saluting, and tribute to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. But October 7th, you know, his birthday, and point number 12 specifically is always something that's under attack. Us believing that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is who he is. He's physically alive and in power. When you are online, and because you better than me, you know what I'm saying? You way better than me, bro. You so respectful. You go back and forth, you and engaging, and welcome to dialogue. I said, look at Josh dialogue with these. I said, that boy dialoguing with some people, boy, because I don't have the time.
Boy, they want smoke. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. No.
Why? What is it? What do you say to them when they constantly question you about who the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is?
Well, for one, you have to look at positioning. I kind of shy away from saying that I'm defending point number 12 in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because if I'm defending, that means that, you know, they're constantly on the offensive. Mm-hmm. But in any type of engage, you know, especially in sports, in that regard, there's an offensive and there's a defensive. So when I attack, I go on the offensive. I don't just play defense. I'm coming at you, you know. And one of my attacks, and this is for all the believers out there that's online that want to stand firm on the teachings, not just defend them, but uphold them, you know, carry them out, meet them head on to folks that don't believe. Question them. Where did you get your information? See, you're saying I'm wrong, but in order for you to come back conclusively and say that I'm wrong, that means you'd have to study that which I believe. So do you even know? You know? So I question folks all the time. It's kind of like I said to this brother who was online yesterday, this Orthodox Muslim, man. This brother has like over 500,000 followers on TikTok. He wanted to engage me. And this is the angle that I came from, and Allah blessed us to be very successful in that angle, right? So he was saying this and that about the Nation of Islam, and I asked him, I prefaced it with this. I said, brother, now, let's say you've never seen a volcano. You don't know what a volcano is. You've never been educated really on it. You know, somebody probably just said volcano here and there, but you have no real idea what a volcano is, right? Are you qualified to speak on lava? Are you qualified to talk about the temperature of lava? And he admitted, no. And I said, well, why not? He said, because I don't know what it is. I don't really know what a volcano is. I was like, thank you for that. So if you've never really studied a volcano, you've never really studied lava, then who are you to tell me that lava is not hot? So we in the Nation of Islam, we saying that Allah appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, right? They can't even quote that verbatim. They just know Master Fard Muhammad. They just know they think God is something like that. But have you studied our doctrine? Do you know what it means? In fact, have you studied something outside of the Quran, the scriptures of the Bible, the Torah? So who are you to say that we're wrong when you haven't even made yourself available to all the available research? Well, no, but you do the fumbling and bumbling. You know, the offensive. I'm going to attack. I'm questioning, making them casting doubt in themselves to see. See, we can defend what it is that we believe, and we can uphold that which we believe. You know why? Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he came and gave us the knowledge of the books. He gave us supreme wisdom. He gave us the knowledge of Moses in the Torah, the Old Testament, Jesus in the Gospels in the New Testament, yes, Prophet Muhammad in the Holy Quran. He gave us all that. But some of these folks, they read one book and think they got it. So we don't stand for that.
Yes,
and
sir.
so
yes,
I question them right back. Boom, I hit them. And another point is, we're not seeking their validation. I don't need your damn approval to believe what I believe. I'm convicted in my belief, and my belief is working. The proof of that is in the communities with the lives that the messenger is touching.
That's right.
Through the minister. So it's like, okay, you can doubt all you want. We gonna work. We gonna outwork you. Prayer is good, but while you in your mosque praying, we in our mosque praying too. But we also in the community making it do what it do. So we don't need you. We don't need their approval. We moving out and doing our work, regardless to whom or what.
All praises due. So yes, sir, yes, sir. And Sister Qasim Akbar said he made us the clean glass. Absolutely.
Come on now.
People showing love all across the country. All right. My next question is, sir, dealing 1975, we know what the believers had to deal with. It's our turn. What advice would you give to specific believers, period, but specifically the younger believers, with knowing that at one point we won't physically see the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to hold on to our faith? What advice do you give?
Oh man, that's an excellent question. As the minister is nearing his departure, you know, as we're taught, he's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's easy to want to look at him. It's easy to want to listen to him. It's easy to want to be near to him. You know, all these things are so easy because of who he is. He's a very charismatic and dynamic person, right? But we have to move beyond the personality and fall in love with the principles that embody the personality.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
See,
personalities, they're here today, and those personalities, they live on, you know, ideology, in an intellectual sense. However, the principles that they carry live on forever, you know? And so I would encourage us to, if we really say that we love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I know for certain that he wants us to hold on to our faith in his absence. So part of doing that is really embracing the principles that he's been given to us for over 40 years, man. When we do that, when we fall in love with that, just as much as we fall in love with his personality, we'll be fine. Because even in the absence of his physical being, his spiritual likeness is still among us in those principles that he gave to us, man.
Beautiful. Excellent response. Excellent teaching. Yes, sir. Okay, and we have a few more questions for you, Brother Joshua. And thank you, everyone, tapping in and showing love all across the country. We have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast this month. And we want to just wish everybody a happy Savior's Day from October 7th. Everybody holding it down all across the country. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Boom. There we go.
Brother Rashad Street Premier. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Rock Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy, editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Rock Communications. Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad's Conflict Mediation, Squashing the Beast Throughout the Southwest Region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad's Giving Birth to a God and the Science of Child Rearing. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of her book as well. Fashion Gods, Urban Streetwear Clothing for Men and Boys. 314-329-6009. He'll keep you dressed in the best of fashion. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Taj Hollywood's Chemistry 6 episode, a new television series out on YouTube. He's looking for actors and writers. Make sure you support him. Keep It Hood, helping others overcome depression. Also by Taj Hollywood. Brother Aaron's Elevated Places, Stress Management, Real Estate, Credit, Repair, and Restoration. His Respect for Life Center. They do personal wellness, philosophy, emotional, and mental spiritual wellness. 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
Okay, perfect. All right, Brother Joshua. Yes, sir. We're right back with you. And thank you, everyone who's locked in with us tonight on People's Podcast as we discuss the importance of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to history, to our personal lives, and to society as a whole. For you, sir, I wanted to ask you about, you've been on the podcast for singing and your art, but I wanted to ask you about meeting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and some of his conversations that a lot of people don't get close to him to have, and you've been blessed to get mentorship with him, you teaching at Mas Mariam before many of times on the webcast and things of that nature. What has can you share with us some of the things that the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has shared with you to keep you with your spirit up and on the front line right now?
Yes, absolutely. For one, I would say, all praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Anytime I've ever been blessed to be in the minister's presence, it's very humbling, and I never take it for granted. Never, it's something I hold dear to my heart. There's a number of different things that jump out to me, or situations, circumstances, what have you. What's one in particular? I was at the farm in Michigan. There was an event going on, and I was blessed to serve at this time on the ministry of the minister's security detail, specifically protocol. So when the dignitaries, the artists and such come to meet the minister, we got to make them feel welcome, things like that, show them to their seats, show them to the waiting room before they meet the minister. So it's one of those type of deals. And I was out on the farm, and I'm walking, and I'm just taking it all in. I'm in the Garden of Yosemite. You know what I'm saying? Your brother's floating, man. And I hear a cart pull up behind me pretty quickly. I didn't think much of it. And I turn around, and with a big old smile, it's the minister. And he says, I hear his voice actually before I hear him. And he said, "Is that my brother Joshua?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like, boom, heart. I just dump it. I'm like, "Yes, sir, brother minister." He's like, "Assalamu alaikum, sir." Wa alaikum salam. I give him the greetings. He told me that he said, "Brother, I love your preaching. Keep on preaching, brother, and keep on studying and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and keep on growing, brother." And I said, "Man, praise be to Allah." "Yes, sir, brother minister." That was all I needed, man. Right there. I could have died right then and there. I'd have been happy and fulfilled. That, in that regard was just so profound to me, man. And that when I was going through a dark period, even in my life, I was reminded of that. And that's what helped pull me back to what I believe is my purpose for my nation, my purpose for my people, my children, is to be able to take the teachings and give it to our people in a way that's practical, in a way that they can have, and in a way that they can love. You know, a lot of our young people, man, like, I love and appreciate the sacrifice of the elders, man. I'm so grateful for them. However, we do need the youth, the youthful in spirit, to be able to speak on the teachings. You know, we got a little different drip. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a little different swag when we come with it. So it's just like it'll come, it'll be received differently coming from us than it would from someone who's much older than us. You know, the teachings are still very profound, but everybody has a position to play. And so I thank the minister for sharing that with me and for encouraging me, even in my ministry, to keep going and to continue to study. We are all students, you know. So that's one that I think of that comes to mind, that really warms my heart, man. And another one, in brief, in so many words, the minister shared with me how, in regards to relationships, you know, we're all looking for the one, you know. And the minister told me, he said, brother, you know, this, you know, in face and beauty, it's nice, but this, fall in love with this here. He was talking about, you know, the sisters, you know, whoever you're looking for, to really fall in love with her heart, with their character, because the beauty, that's neither here nor there. That's gonna be gone. You know, he told me. So he's like, when you really fall in love with the essence of a person, that is what'll keep you with them, you know. And so I was like, thank you, brother minister. No, minister giving me some relationship advice. So
Yes,
that was
sir.
beautiful. Yes, sir.
Excellent. And brother Joshua, once we are, I want to do one in person, either when you come to Orlando or when I'm in Phoenix. We'll set it up like a Drink Champs setting.
Hey, turn up.
We just chill. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna be chilling in the studio, and I'll go into his advice that he gave me on relationships as well with you on that next interview. We'll
that's gonna be hot. That's gonna be
we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that.
Mean?
Yes, sir. Okay, my next question for you is, whether in Chicago, Arizona, or in your travels, have you ever, now online, when people know you're representing the teaching of Most High Elijah Muhammad very strong, have you ever been faced with fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
In regards to the teachings?
In regards to life, like whether somebody you're nervous about speaking about the teachings, or just a confrontation where you like, nah, I don't, I don't know. You in a community, you had to face it and then you had to overcome it.
Okay, yeah. Well, in all truth, I'm always nervous whenever I'm speaking of the teachings, because I respect the audience, I respect the mind of the believers, and I respect the minds of the lost found. So I don't ever just want to be communicating on my own accord. I ask, even when I present at the mosque, when I have Mosque Mariam, every single time my prayer has always been, Allah, please remove me, and allow you to come through, because it's not really Joshua per se. You know what I mean? I just want to be the vessel. I want to be the conduit. I want to be the instrument. And so I try to remove myself out of the way. And so I do have a certain level of nervousness that comes with speaking online, that comes with, because I just want to be a good representation. That's all. I just want to be a good reflection of that which I love. But fear, I don't have that. Right? I don't got that. And that's not arrogance. I mean that in a very humble way. I don't got it in me to really be fearful, because I'm convicted in that which I say I believe. So I stand on, man, kill concrete. Like, what you mean? Like, who wants to talk? Because I believe, I really believe in that which Allah has deposited in me. all of my gifts, all of my talents, all of my abilities, man, I would be nothing if it wasn't for Allah blessing me with that. So I always try to move with a spirit of humility, recognizing that nothing good of me comes from me. It comes from Allah. However, I'm not shy about what he gave to me. You feel me? I'm not shy. I know my gifts. You feel me? And I'm gonna stand firm in that bad boy. And so I'm so sure and so convicted in who I am in relation to the God. So fear for that? No. I can't recall being fearful. Maybe nervousness. But that is emotion. That's an emotion that all praises due to Allah I seldom feel.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes, sir. Excellent answer. And people are showing you love all across the country. Can't wait to put this on YouTube. Two more questions for you, sir. The question that we always ask our guests is dealing with music. Because you are an artist as well as a student in a ministry class, if you could give us, I'll make it more specific because you're more of a you like to rap, but you're singing, to make the crowd go crazy. If you had to choose your favorite R&B album of all time, what would you choose?
Ooh, favorite R&B album?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah, like no.
That's so difficult. R&B album. Oh. Do we want to go Motown? Because I got an old soul, man.
Okay, but we can go. That's where we want to go. That's where we want to go. We can go.
Or in all truth, it may be, I've never been asked this question before. It may be Confessions.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
What we talking about? What are we saying?
It's gotta be Confessions, man, because I look at like twofold. For one, it's just like an incredible album in itself. You know what I'm saying? But also two, like where I was in my own development as a young man, you know what I'm saying? As a young brother, as an artist, you feel me? Like when he dropped Confessions, I was like, man, like Ursha, baby. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Confessions, man.
Ain't no skipping. It's that's a complete album.
Yeah,
that's a complete album.
You know what I'm saying? When they were doing challenges online, that took me back, baby. You know what I'm saying? That took me back.
Yeah, Confessions. You can't go wrong with Confessions. It's one of the greatest albums ever. Period. That's a great answer. All right, boom. One more question, and thank everyone who continues to watch and show love to Brother Joshua. I'm going to put this on YouTube tonight, inshallah.
Yes,
if there's a first-time guest, maybe watching the people's podcast who came, they saw the caption, they saw the clickbait, saw a picture of you and said, boom, what is the important, like, who is Elijah Muhammad to a first-time person who's never heard of him?
Who is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to a first-time guest or someone who has never heard of him?
Yes, sir.
He is your best friend that you don't even know.
I like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's your BFF. That's your guy. That's your brother. You know what I mean? Because, and why he is that is because the message that he came with had the power to be able to elevate you in consciousness, to elevate you financially, to elevate you spiritually, in all areas of your life, man. If I had a friend, and I do have many friends that elevate me in those different areas, but if I had a friend who had the ability to do all of those things, this man is putting money in my pocket. This man is always teaching me. This man is always holding me accountable. This man is always showing me love. Like he's doing all of those things all of the time. I would be able to say conclusively that is my best friend.
Yes, sir.
So somebody who doesn't know him, I would say that is your best friend. And so I would implore them to get to know their friend, get to know their brother. And in doing so, I guarantee they'll never be the same again.
But Joshua, you know, I knew it was a connection, Aurora neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? West Side Soul, you know what I'm saying? The man just be teaching. He teaches in a way.
Yeah, man.
You got it. We on the same page, brother. After we on the same page. May Allah continue to bless you, your family, and your ministry. May Allah, we rooting for you online, in person, if you know, wherever you speaking at, online, wherever we can do. What are your social media handles so that we can make sure that we support it?
Yes, all my social media handles are the same: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at the #1 Brother Joshua. So one Brother Joshua on all platforms. That's where you can find me. That's where I'll be at, inshallah, Lord willing. And that's where I'm gonna continue to do my work at, because the work is in the streets, but we live in a digital society, bro. And that's why I love what you're doing. I love the podcast. I love the energy that you put out into constantly feeding the believers, while at the same time encouraging those who have not yet believed. You know, putting that out is so critically important. And I want to encourage all the other people who may be believing, if you can bear witness to who this man is, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then you, me, us, we have a duty to carry his message, man, on these digital social media platforms. We got to do that. We have to do that in whatever capacity that you see fit. This world is moving more towards digitally. You know, it's different now. Fishing is different now. You could put out a video, bro, and it go viral and it hit hundreds of thousands, millions of people, just like that. Just like that. I'm starting to see the power in doing it. And so in me seeing that, it's encouraging me to push. Yes, it encourages me it empowers me to do for self, because we can get paid for it. But man, how awesome is that, to be able to get paid for promoting the salvation of our people?
Fact.
Come on, man. So, man, I always want to encourage us to get online and stay online, man, and promote the teachings, man. But as for myself, my own platform, the #1 Brother Joshua, you can find me at that email, #1brotherjoshua@gmail.com. I'm just looking to learn, to grow, and to build with like-minded individuals, man, who got that spirit of Allah. And man, I love you, bro. Love all the believers. And I thank y'all, man. Thank you for having me on your platform. It's an honor. It truly is.
The honor is mine. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you again, Brother Joshua. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Wa alaikum salam.
Perfect.